Hello, well, a lot of people have asked us to summarise what are some really good and safe rides around Woking. So we're just going to list a few here now, and most of them are based around starting from the Basingstoke Canal. So if you live anywhere between sort of Sheerwater, West Byfleet, Knaphill, Brookwood, Bisley, we all have access to the Basingstoke Canal, and most of these rides will link up with that. Now, Woking is beautifully sited with all sorts of activities around. So we've got, as you can see on here, we've got the Basingstoke Canal connecting us to London and via the River Wey and the Thames, to Windsor via the Wey and the Thames, but in the opposite direction on the Thames. If you carry on from Windsor, you can get to the Kennet and Avon Canal, Bath and Bristol, head your way off that way. We've got all the Surrey Heaths around, beautiful off-road cycling around there. And then south of us, Surrey Hills, the Surrey Hills linking into Sussex and Hampshire, and also the Downs link, which runs us all the way down to Brighton. So a huge amount of connectivity, and Woking lies in the very heart of this area. Beautiful countryside and beautiful connections. So it doesn't matter whatever bike you've got, or whether you're riding with your family or on your own, there are wonderful trips available to you around the Woking area. Short ones, long adventures, whatever you're after, they're available. So why are we doing this? Well, we really want to get the whole of Woking cycling as much as we can. And for many people, they just don't think that they're up to it. They look at distances like 10 kilometres and they think, wow, that's miles. But actually, it's really very manageable. There are lots of opportunities around, and we'd love to get you out of your car and doing the similar sort of journeys using your bike. Cycle routes are often shorter because they take cross-country, more direct routes. They're generally much safer on the cycle route than cycling on the roads. And as drivers, we tend to only picture our journeys via the roads, ignoring all the little back routes and quiet things. Riding documented routes as well helps us to learn what is possible and what we're capable of doing, because they've been tested out by other people. We know they're much safer, and other people have made the mistakes, and that's what our videos do. Give you a metre by metre view of everything that's taking place, so that you can see for yourself, going, well, I don't really fancy that bit, or maybe I'll have to find a way around that. So just before we carry on, just to remind you that we're residents of Woking, and we want to get everybody out cycling safely, to break the myths and to discover new places all the way around. We ride a tandem, and if we can manage a trip, then we know that you should be able to, because tandems are much more difficult to get around. So we want to get you to know your local area and maybe save some money. Parking your bike in Woking is free. So you can help us by liking our videos. I'd love you to like this one. Click the little thumbs up, to subscribe for us so that we can keep you informed of all the routes that we've got and new ones when they get added, and also comment on the rides. It's great when you pass comments, you say, well, we've tried this one, or have you had a go at that, or no, this is brilliant and it helped us get here and there. It's very encouraging for us, and we've got literally dozens and dozens of rides available to you, and we've started colour coding them to make them a little bit easier so you can find your way around. So here is a summary of many of the places that we've already got rides for, and we've based it geographically around Woking, using the Basingstoke Canal as that horizontal line, and using north-south really to divide up the left and the right side. And you'll see that wherever you live, there are loads of places that you may not have considered, from National Trust buildings to beautiful roads, the open countryside, the hills, hill climbing on your bike. Then there's some great rides around if you just want to be off-road, if you want to take your children, loads of places to go, even towards London. If you look on the top right there, loads of rides towards London. So if we start on the canal and head east, then if we go north of that and pick up maybe the River Wey, we've got London. You can get to Kingston. It takes about an hour and a half, maybe two. Richmond, Hampton Court, Bushy Park's a great ride. We've got one there available for you. When you get up to the Thames, you can turn left and go towards Staines. Then you've got Thorpe Park and Heathrow opening up. Walton on Thames is a great place to stop, and a lot of people just sit there and watch the boats. If you may not have even encountered Cox's Lock at Addleston, well, that's a wonderful place to stop and have a look around. And we've got Newhall, all places you might have driven to, but we can go there on the bike. So if we follow the Basingstoke Canal east and then head south from there, we can get down to the RHS Wisley. Great way to get to Wisley Gardens, actually. Newark Priory along the River Wey. We've also got Newlands Corner that we can get to very easily. We've got some nice routes to that, several different journeys. Hatchlands National Trust Park. It's surprisingly quiet to get to Hatchlands via cycling. We also go to Tandem Park. We have a bit more of a traffic heavy route to Painshill Park, but it's still not that bad if you're a confident cyclist, and you've got access to all the Surrey Hills over in the east. And of course there's nothing to stop you extending your ride way down into the Surrey Hills, all the way down to Brighton or across to Gatwick. There's some lovely rides on the outskirts of Gatwick, beautiful parts of Sussex available to you there, or off to London, or you can pick up at Staines and Wraysbury. You can head off towards Reading as well as Windsor. So if we head west along the Basingstoke Canal and look at the places that are available to us north of that, with some great rides towards Virginia Water if you want to visit gardens, and just generally a great place to take the family for the day. We've got Swinley Forest for those of you that are into off-roading and mountain biking and trails. Is absolutely superb. There's Lightwater Country Park, a great place for the kids, and you can get there almost completely without going anywhere near any roads with any traffic. We've got Ash Vale and Purbright and the Commonwealth War Grave Cemetery in Purbright, which is a wonderful place to visit, be peaceful, and to just have a look around. There's nothing morbid about it at all. It is really a glorious celebration of those lives that were given. And you can also just get access between St John's, Bisley, Knapp Hill, all the way along. And similarly, if we head south from the western side of Basingstoke Canal, you can get through Purbright and then to a wonderful place called Henley Park Lake, which is great for the kids and for fishing. There's Wanborough and Normandy, wonderful views across there. Mitchett, the Ash Ranges and the Canal Centre, definitely worth visiting. There's Guildford and all the Surrey Hills to the west, so all the way around to places like Seal and Hindhead and Frensham, with Heathland as well. We've got Greywell and Odium if you just keep going up the canal. That's about 45 kilometres each way, so that's quite a long ride. Then you can actually go beyond that into Basingstoke. I wouldn't necessarily recommend going further than Old Basing, really, because Basingstoke is pretty grim. So some wonderful places to visit. You can go on to Blackwater, Camberley, Sandhurst, or down all the way to Brighton if you wanted, via the South Downs links. So do you need a special bike? I think the answer to that is no, but it may restrict the sort of terrain that you can ride across. So if you've got a road bike, generally we would suggest sticking to the back roads that we've got, but bear in mind that, for instance, the Basingstoke Canal has got such a smooth surface along it that it's pretty good for road bikes, particularly modern road bikes with the wider tyres. If you've got a gravel bike or a hybrid bike, there's not much difference between them. Gravel bikes generally have drop bars, or an MTB, then you can take nearly all the routes. Some of them, such as the River Way, particularly in winter, is best on a mountain bike. Same with Swinley Forest. And we ride a tandem, and there's nothing more awesome than trying to get the tandem everywhere. Every ride that you can find on our site has been done by us on a tandem, sometimes at the most inappropriate times and in the most inappropriate conditions. So bear that in mind when you're selecting your list. So how can you get a copy of these routes? Well, you can look them up on our Komoot page. It's known as Paul and Diane on the Tandem. We'll put a link in the description below, but once you get there you'll find that we've got 363 different rides, some of them in different parts of the country as well. But search through, put in a place name. We've tried to use those wherever possible, and you can also just use this to plan your own route. And you'll also see there on the page that you can download a GPX file, and you can load that into maybe a cycle computer or onto your phone or into Strava or whatever it is that you use for navigating. But Komoot actually does a pretty good job at talking its way through, so you can use it just as a sat nav, and if you've got an earphone you can pop that in and you can listen as you ride. You will also see that we've got here a map of the terrain, so you can see when it goes up and down, and there is also an overall map of the route so that you can look at it in more detail, and you can always use edit to replan. So thank you for joining us, and we hope that we'll meet up with you on another ride some point. Okay, take care and bye for now.